Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Altar. Tonight, it's myself, Based Heisenberg. We have Max, aka Caporato, and then we have Yimra, aka Yimra. And we're chilling.
Everyone's just eating food right now.
I had some chips before we went on. Maybe I should go get some more chips.
Hey, maybe. I mean,
Maybe, yeah.
want to be that guy, before we talk about fucking nothing.
We're talking about, like, guns and bullshit. That's what we're talking about this time. The gay TF.
Yeah, I don't even care about the Alec Baldwin thing. I'll be honest.
I just don't. He'll get, like...
We hashed it out. We hashed it out when it happened, right? Like, just go back to that episode, whatever it was.
He pretty much got, like, the equivalent of, like, incompetence with murder. Like, guy didn't on purpose kill someone, but his incompetence led to somebody dying. Where it's going to be like whatever. I don't even know what the conviction actually is. I know it's involuntary manslaughter. I don't know like what the sentence is in the sense of like if he's doing
Arizona involuntary manslaughter. I wonder like what's the maximum time he's facing?
It's like 18 months. Very long. It's like a 4th degree felony.
But what's the minimum? I'm wondering.
I don't know.
Class 2 dangerous felony. This offense carries 4 to 10 years in jail. And the case that there's other aggravating factors such as DUI.
Yeah, that's not
the court can increase. Oh, that's vehicular manslaughter. Wait. Defenses: you acted in self-defense, did not act recklessly, or did not act in a criminal state of mind. Interesting.
Which is not him at all. It's just he's fucking stupid. Or someone else is technically to be blamed, but whatever. Fuck Alec.
Penalties punishable by up to 10 years.
Yeah, if you're like a drunk driver and you kill a family of 5, but you know.
Is that still vehicular or is that just involuntary manslaughter?
That's big. Yeah, I think vehicular carries its own class.
I don't drink and drive and hit families.
No, I mean it's pretty easy to not hit families when you're drinking and driving.
Yeah, I mean, in your own car, especially. That's the yeah.
Well, you can't get into an accident when you're in your own car.
Right. I forgot my McDonald's soda is in the corner. I need to get it.
Oh no, your McDonald's soda. And they just left. And he's back.
Okay.
I was going to ask if you had that McDonald's Sprite, but that's clearly not Sprite.
Say what?
I was going to ask if Yimra had the McDonald's Sprite, but it was clearly not Sprite.
No. I don't get the McDonald's Sprite. I'm a big Dr. Pepper guy. Dr. Pepper is for kids who definitely had a phase in high school. It doesn't matter what phase, literally any phase. You had one in high school, you know what I'm saying?
Dr. Pepper is for the kids who played hacky sack.
Goth kids like Dr. Pepper. I don't know what it is with Dr.
Mountain Dew?
Mountain Dew's gamer juice.
Like I don't always drink a lot of soda.
Gamer juice. You were a gamer. You played Halo Reach and Gears of War. No, you're younger than me. I mean older than me. Halo 3. Gears of War, possibly 2, maybe the first one.
1 and 2.
Could do the math.
I played all of them, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I stopped at Gears of War 2.
Same.
I haven't played 3.
3 was really good. I liked 3.
Yeah, no, I Mountain Dew and Dr. Pepper kind of. If I'm gonna drink soda, it's kind of what I'll have. More or less.
To be fair, if it's in a can and it's like just out of like a bucket of ice, or
that's
like in a vending machine, canned like Pepsi or canned Coca-Cola is like the superior way of like having it. Like people say like a glass bottle like frozen, like the aluminum gives it a new kind of cold that is not possible with glass. You know what I mean? There's that extra layer of coldness where it's like, ooh, okay.
See, but like a canned drink doesn't stay cold, and Dr. Pepper distinctly does not taste good out of a can.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Mountain Dew tastes excellent out of a can, though.
a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi, I think it's a superior way is to have soda is from a can
Actually,
directly out of like the coldest, iciest water and or like one of those vending machines that actually does its job.
I would raise you one, and I would say glass bottle.
It really depends.
Those throwback
Oh,
Mountain
dude,
Dews they did with like the glass bottles with the real sugar. That was some good
I got a
shit.
Mexican. They sell
Mexican Coke?
Mexican
Mexican Coke.
Mountain Dew
Ooh.
around here.
Mexican Dew.
It comes in glass. It's made with cane sugar. It has like half the sugar of normal Mountain Dew as well, like gram wise. That was excellent. Had an excellent Mountain Dew. Mexican Mountain Dew. Yeah. Let's look at the comments because people are talking about gun stuff. Henry's dropping a
An
PCC.
actual conversation about soda.
No Shay says they love that Henry's dropping a PCC. I do too, actually. I think it is very cool to have a wood furniture, just ranch carbine, that is, something you can just drop in the back of an ATV and forget about, and like you need to kill a coyote. It looks cool.
That's very cool.
And it takes Glock mags. Yeah, right. Which I'm not like a huge fan of. Aesthetically, I would have wished it took like Colt 9mm SMG mags, but
I mean that would have been cool. But like the fact that it does
because like
take
the
Glock
plastic
mags is,
mag,
like,
the plastic mag with like the wood furniture just throws me for a loop. I want like the steel, like I want the World War I look. To be honest, like that's what the thing has. Yeah, like a fucking. It looks like the Remington 1907 from Battlefield 1. So also SIG and Shield mags too. I don't know. SIG released like a new pattern of P365 that looks nearly identical to the last 20 versions. Shield.
Sorry, go ahead.
Shield Arms released the 9 round magazine for the G43 finally. So if you're a G43 carrier and you were hoping for higher than 6 capacity, because Glock made a stupid single stack magazine for that gun that is the same width as most double stack guns, you can now have 9 rounds and still have one less round than the SIG for absolutely almost no reason. But whatever.
Almost cool.
You can drink Dr. Pepper hot and it still tastes fine. Dr. Pepper hot.
Oh, with the lemon, that thing they did in like 1956. Well, I feel like that
Were you my
ad
grandmother?
made, like that was like an ad made in like a totally different time when like a lot of the different like actual form like ingredients or formulas changed. So I feel like maybe it was probably more busted back then than it is now. Like I'll still try it, but I feel like whenever that ad came out, probably was a better time for it to be made that way.
Yeah, yeah, maybe like
I'm not saying like all like the different
and...
like the replacing the sugar with the fructose, like even not even that stuff, just because a lot of the stuff is designed to be less calories, less this. And I mean, to be fair, hey, less calories. There's some fat fucks out there. You know what?
Yeah, I made a post about how the diabetes people are complaining that insulin's expensive, and I said just stop being fat.
Seriously.
And it's literally the solution, because yeah, it's like, oh, I've spent $400 or $1,000 a month on insulin, and it's like there is a 95% chance, and I'm not kidding, 19 out of 20 people with diabetes are type 2 diabetes. It's just caused by their diet. So because you eat pure crap all day, you have to spend an extra $1,000 a month. Sounds like not my problem.
Not even diabetic, but I'm about to be.
Which is also interesting if you think about the amount of money they probably do spend on that crap.
Right. Oh yeah. Like, if you are drinking like a solid like 12-pack of soda every day, like instead of water, you don't fucking, like I know I drink a lot of fucking beer and shit, and beer's got plenty of sugar in it, but it's different. And also like I work out a lot. Actually, I did my stats for the year. I've been skiing every other day since the new year began. Just I'm kind of proud of that.
Very cool.
It sounds really awesome, but I think I'd kill myself if I skied every other day. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Dude,
That-
I mean, you should see
Oh.
my ass. I got glutes that could break a fucking diamond. Okay.
I don't
That'll
want to break my cock off in your ass then.
that'll guys, we got to save this for the special edition. Actually, thinking about it, next episode is episode 100.
Yeah, we gotta like actually have like a
Oh
proper
shit,
date.
we can't even casually do the next episode. Like,
No,
we
we
just
actually have
bumble
to.
our way through these episodes. We gotta set up all the guests. Like we gotta get
Yeah.
Marcel and Cybersmith and
Oh my god.
1911.
I don't know
if
who
he's
else.
still
Tiffany,
alive.
whatever.
I'm sure he's still
die
alive.
we didn't die in Ukraine airdropping in to say the N-word against every Russian and Ukrainian because he's gonna be the only brown guy within like a 500-mile radius minus the Taliban who are also his friends.
When
Well, wait, there's
M1911 said he went to Ukraine because he wanted to kill white people.
You know what? Yeah, that's
Okay.
pretty. I mean, I guess it's based. I don't know.
He used to joke around all the time
about
about the
genociding
superior-
white people.
Yeah, about the superiority of the brown man.
well, I guess it's happening out in Bakhmut instead of fucking in the New York subway system or something like that.
Listen, you know what? I don't take no fucking subway, anyways. I haven't had to take the subway. I had to go to Staten Island though. That was fucking miserable.
That does sound miserable.
It's Staten Island. You know, traffic there. Getting out of Staten Island, no matter what borough you're in, is just like, do you want to start a shotgun and/or have gay sex?
What the fuck
And you're
brought you
never-
to Staten Island?
What doesn't bring me to Staten Island, babe? Well, no, it was doing things for work.
Oh,
Anyways, that's not important. I think I'm developing an eating disorder. I just keep eating a lot more lately, but I'm drinking and throwing up, so I'm fine.
have you been like a lot more physically active?
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah.
Probably. I mean, not like a lot more, but
Doesn't matter. You're more physically active.
yeah. No, I'm gonna go with I have an eating disorder, so I can get some free pills from Doctor Backside,
Dr. Bad
Doctor Vinny Gumbats.
Dr. Dick Chop.
That also.
Do I have to say what ethnicity the doctor was?
Vinny
Gonna be
Gumbats.
Yimra in 3 months. I wouldn't even say. Yeah, are you guys not getting the reference here?
No, I'm
No.
doing a whole different one. for
No,
Vinny
when
Gumbats.
Kanye was like doing this interview and he's like, and they put me on so many psychoactive medicines that I was gonna overdose, and I don't need to say what kind of doctor it was. He was Jewish. It's
Oh.
hilarious. Like instantly, goes back on saying the thing. It feels like a stand-up like bit.
Yeah, that sounds like one of those Norm Macdonald bits where it's like he knows that the punchline isn't gonna hit, so he has to make the joke that the punchline didn't hit, but then do like a joke. I don't know. I feel like it's a Norm Macdonald joke where it would be really funny, but with Kanye, it's just kind of like, all right, Kanye, you don't like the Jews. We fucking get it. Shut up. Get some new material, Kanye. Fight, I mean, I don't know, fight for the Armenians or something.
I mean, that's why he divorced Kim.
Yeah, because they don't want to support Armenia.
That's exactly
Well,
it.
wait, is there
Kardashians
some...
are Armenian, if that's the next question, which is also very shocking.
No, I knew that. I'm just wondering
always
what
thought
the
that's true.
Armenian Jewish connection is, because
Oh, it's no Jewish connection. I just want Kanye to go on a new bit instead of like, man, there sure are Jewish doctors. It's like, okay, all right. There's a lot of Asian doctors too. What are we gonna do about those?
What if Kanye like in a bid to like get Kim
more
back,
attention?
he's like, we're gonna get Turkey to pay reparations for the Armenian genocide. Like he actually like angled this.
That'd be
like
so
he actually
sick.
angled it that way.
That would actually be like the ultimate redemption arc from like everybody, because you can't be like, oh well, he had a country acknowledge a fucking like genocide, you can't really be as negative toward the fucking guy. You know what I mean? Can't do that.
They would find a way.
Yeah, look how
That
greasy
or
and
like
flat that
he's
looks. Jesus Christ.
what if he just like liquidated all of his like remaining capital and like somehow got it into like Palestinian like defense forces basically and just
Oh my
like
God.
bought them a brand new navy and like got all the militia trained up and stuff like that and really like made like Israel shit his pants. Like that'd be funny.
Kanye just buys a freighter ship and fills it with guns and just crashes it into the Gaza Strip on the beach.
Oh, he'd get U.S. liberty. But yeah.
He just I don't know.
I gotta get
I'm
an
running out of
idea.
fuel on this one. That's too many thoughts.
No, we want your thoughts.
Do you see the some? I don't follow like any gun shit anymore because I guess this gets cringe because half the personalities are gay. But on Instagram, I follow like one surplus store that like sells really niche like Eastern European or just like different countries like surplus shit.
Uh-huh.
And like they went to SHOT Show, and wow, what a useless fucking convention, frankly. 'Cause it's like, hey, here's this Glock that they did nothing with. Hey, here's the army trying to sell like more guns to some other kind, whatever. Who gives a shit? But
Yeah.
some company made like a reproduction or like a remanufacturing like STGs where it looks a little thicker and stuff.
Oh, the
I have
SCG
no idea
44s?
about
I
it.
think that's
Yeah.
PSA.
Plemento Sandwich Army.
Yep. Oh,
See, that looks kind of cool as fuck, though. I kind of would want like one. That or that if they made like a repo of a bar. I know they made like a retro resto mod, if you want to call it that, of the bar where it's all tacticaled out, and I kind of hate it. I think I just hate it. I'm not sure how to feel about it, but as far as resto modding, as my one friend keeps calling it, when they like bring a gun back but kind of modernize it but kind of keep it old. Resto modding a gun is a cool thing, especially on a scale which can actually sell them. But
So
that bar looks nasty.
the PSA STG 44, when it releases, it'll be available in 8mm Kurtz, 5.56, 300 blackout, and 7.62 by 3.9. So
That's sick.
that is so
DB
fucking cool.
AKSTG, bro.
The fucking 8mm Kurtz version is valiant, but absolutely stupid. Nobody's gonna buy that.
I feel like that's more of just like they kind of have to because someone's going to complain. Enough people are going to
I
complain.
think they just
or,
had the tooling available, so they're like, listen,
Or
if you
yeah,
want
like the
that,
guns. Yeah, because they
Well,
had them
actually,
have like
it's
the machining or whatever
it's
it is,
nearly
right?
the same bolt head as 7.62 by 39.
exactly.
But okay, this is a collector's thing, right? So like it's going to be for people who can spend money on ammo. So I guess yeah, people who want to get an 8mm Kurtz and be all true to the thing,
Which
they
I
can
mean,
get
no,
it
it'd be
that way.
kind of cool. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, if you can afford it, why wouldn't you want to shoot like the original ammunition type? I don't know if any
But
company. I mean, do companies
like
make
there's
this
no
now?
parameter that like 7.62 by 39 is not the superior cartridge. Because it's just like the Soviets looked at it and said, "Oh, we can do that, but better." And then, if you're an Amerikaner and you have a reloading press and you're set up for 300 black, get it in 300 black because that's dope.
The
Yeah, that's
suppressor on
pretty
that
cool,
fucking
too.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like,
Well-
just what I'm looking at, it looks like the muzzle actually has like a thread on it that you should be able to access.
the originals were threaded too because they had muzzle. They didn't use it with silencers, but they did use it.
Like flash suppressors, I would imagine.
Yeah, flash suppressor, and then they had like the shoot
The
around
bayonet
corners
lug, right?
device.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
No, well, yeah, I don't think actually the MP44 had a bayonet lug.
Nope, didn't.
Didn't?
No,
That's
I mean
fucking
like it's
cringe.
they
That's
considered
when
it
you
a
know you
submachine gun.
fucked up. Listen, that's why
They-
the Japs were right. They put bayonets on every fucking gun that they made. Those homeboys
Hey,
were like,
here's
machine
here's
gun,
this
bayonet,
incredibly
SMG,
expensive
bayonet.
machine gun to manufacture, and it's designed to fire bullets from a supported position. But sometimes you might need to stab
No,
somebody.
I think unironically that is ignoring the heinous crimes against humanity they committed. Which I mean, didn't we all World War II? But putting bayonets on literally everything, like I wouldn't be shocked if they're like, yeah, The handgun also can have a sword attached to it because fuck you.
They did have a samurai sword version of a Nambu pistol, actually.
Fuck off.
Hell yes.
That's gotta be like a Reddit meme, like Photoshop thing. It can't be real. Fuck off.
Gun sword.
Gun sword. I hope this is not a meme, but I've seen the picture, so like that's where. Yeah. Let me share screen here.
Yeah, I gotta head out in a few minutes. I'll be late because you know what? That motherfucker made me late anyways last time. So.
Fuck 'em.
Right there.
So.
Oh yeah.
But like what? Like 3 people use it? Oh, get your fucking gay sex DMs out of there. Fucking homosexual. This guy.
All right, you've seen it.
Okay, so I see it. I can't imagine there's like more than like 4 ever used kind of shit, right? It's gotta be one of those cases.
Yeah. How do I stop streaming? What the fuck?
You press this.
I control this.
With a... when you can't afford Red Dead
Oh, there we
Redemption
go.
2.
Yeah, no,
So
I had to find the fucking button. There's so many fucking buttons.
Just like browsing
so,
Atlantic Firearms real quick to see if there's anything cool.
all right, I'm gonna go fucking head out and go learn about myself and why I probably belong in a federal penitentiary.
Yeah.
That being said,
honestly, you know, you meet the right people, it could be fun.
Could be fun.
You just work out with your bros all day and fucking.
look out your bros, smoke cigarettes, shove drugs up my ass, kiss the homies good night.
What's that? How is that any different than what you already do?
I mean,
You
seriously.
don't have to pay for any of it.
Yeah, it's free. It's
Yeah,
free
it's
ride
free.
for.
People have to pay for me, dog. I commit so much tax fraud, they put me to jail, and guess what I do? Have people who pay taxes pay for my life. Life hack.
Huh.
What are they gonna do, bro? Okay. That's a terrible way to end. Anyways, I guess I will commit tax fraud so I can go to prison for free and never pay for anything in my life, except for
You can get
cigarettes.
conjugal visits with Grimace. They'll have a trailer set up for you.
Oh, yeah.
Promise?
Promise.
Oh, they will because I'll be committing white collar crimes because you know the justice system is so good and fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways.
All right, have fun.
All right. Yeah.
Via con Dios. God. Trying to think of what else was cool at SHOT Show, or I guess we can talk about the gay TF.
Oh yeah. So I was reading into that. Let me just see if there's any other cool things. The Hollow Sun night vision thermal sight and thermal sights were dope.
Yeah, dude.
I
think the entry price is like $1,000.
That's really nice.
Ah.
Now, I would prefer to have goggles and passively aim through a device that's not shooting out a bright light towards my face all the time at night. But if you're hunting like varmints, it doesn't matter. If that's your purpose, it's cool. Which is like a totally valid thing to do if you want to kill some coyotes at night. I've been there.
Things.
I feel that.
Coyotes or other things.
I mean, if it's a slightly more dangerous prey, bipedal prey, if you will, you don't want to have like backlit illumination on your face. So
exactly.
That's not what the optic's for. So, anyways, Glock released the same version of the same pistol it's been making since 1980. Oh, the Smith & Wesson 5.7. Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah, Smith & Wesson's releasing an M&P 5.7. It is a 22 round magazine. And it is optics ready. I think the cool thing about it comes standard with a threaded barrel, and it is a rotating barrel action.
Really?
Yes. So it's an inline rotary lock barrel.
It's like a
PX4
Storm. Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. I think the original 5.7 works on that principle as well. Might be mistaken. Anyways, MSRP. Give me an MSRP. What do you think?
Smith & Wesson?
Yeah. 5.7.
$899.
What if I told you it's $699?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. For that brand, that's nice.
That is nice.
Right?
Dude, Smith & Wesson has a really aggressive pricing. Like,
Yeah, they've been, I think, killing it, honestly, compared to most American brands. Like, Colt's nobody. They got bought by CZ, so like maybe CZ will make something out of them. Although, like, European executives don't really know how to read the American market per se, which is why they released, like, 20 years too late, a striker fired compact pistol
yeah.
for the first time. But so Colt's nowhere to be found. Remington, I mean, it's like just an ammo brand at this point, right?
I was
Does
about to say
Remington even
Remington
make
is.
guns?
I don't think they. No, I don't think they do.
Winchester, who cares? Henry, honestly, Henry is they found their niche, which is like, we're making wood furniture guns, and cool lever actions, and cowboy action shooters going to love us. Old boys on the farm going to love us, and people in band states are going to love us.
Exactly.
By the way, if you're in a band state and you don't want to be in legal jeopardy for your home defense firearm, get a lever action. Just like even a pistol caliber, like a 357 Henry with like tube loader, like you can unload that thing just as fast as any semi-auto. I'm sorry. And the modern ones, you get pick rails on it. You can get a fucking flashlight on it and make like a retro tactical lever action. Those are actually kind of cool. I like those. Okay, Henry's cool. What other American brands are we thinking of?
Marlin's
like
decent.
fully American brands. Sorry,
Marlin.
Also,
yeah,
they
lever
make like
action thing.
good. Yeah, lever action thing. They make good 22s, right?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Mossberg makes decent pistols again.
That's
kind of
shocking.
neat. And their shotguns. Nobody's ever gonna stop buying fucking Mossberg 500s. So, I guess maybe Winchester's making shotguns and Remington makes shotguns that people buy still.
I'll never forget
Browning.
the last time. Browning. What's Browning doing?
Yeah, Browning makes like decent, like they make a semi-auto BAR that's like for hunting. That's cool if that's what you want for a hunting rifle. Is a 3-shot 30-06 that weighs 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's semi-auto, so that's cool. But the classic designs though, Browning still makes, if I'm not mistaking myself, a 1895. Speaking of lever guns, if you're into that shit. So yeah, a lot of Remington action bolts product. Oh no, wait. No, I want the lever actions. There we go. There's the BLR, which is a mag-fed lever action, which is a good niche to have because then you can have Spitzer bullets. And on top of that, are they no longer making the 1895 Repro? Oh
man, Rock Island Armory is apparently making a.
Well, that's Philippine, but yeah. Go ahead.
I think it's a 50 caliber. It's supposed to be like a Deagle, the RIA 50 5.0, RIA 5.0.
Really?
No, just kidding. Excuse me. It's 9mm.
Yeah. Oh no. I saw a review on that. The RIA 50, and people can look this up. It's like a competition pistol. So
Really?
it's got the rails in rails. So it's like an inline. So like the frame is the slide right's in the frame, kind of like a SIG what's the classic SIG? God damn it, 220, 210, SIG 210. Like the old one. I'm not talking about the 220, that the Swiss Army uses. I'm talking about the old one from the 30s. So it's a like mostly competition based pistol. It's got this inline recoil. It's a really goofy looking pistol. But apparently, shoots great. So if you want to, I would not consider it a carry pistol, considering it is 2.5 pounds and it is 5.2 inches tall and it is 8 inches long.
So, Phoenix Firearms has released a line of integrally suppressed shotguns that look pretty fucking
Really?
cool. Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
very cool actually. They're pump actions, but
They're the ones that make the they were making the they're like is this Phoenix Arms?
Phoenix Arms,
Are you sure?
100%.
They're like the Saturday Night Special maker.
Excuse me, Phoenix Weaponry.
Oh, okay. Phoenix Arms makes little shitty like knockoff Saturday Night Specials.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. God, there's so many manufacturers these days that make just weird shit. Oh, Phoenix Firearms is based out of Colorado, I guess. They got AR-15, AR-10s, and you're saying they've got a integrally suppressed line.
Mm-hmm.
Shotguns. Look at that.
And then High Point released a 10 millimeter. So everybody's waiting.
Oh yeah, the Yeet Cannon 10.
It fires. It's 49 ounces.
Literally, you don't even need bullets. You just throw it at them.
Yeah, but it's $225.
Yeah, no, for 10 millimeter. Now, the only thing that makes it absurd is how much it weighs, right? Because it's a direct blowback 10
But
millimeter.
that'll eat a lot of recoil.
It does, necessarily. So you can shoot 40 out of it, and I saw the guy James Reeves from TFB like straight up just like he's like, you can shoot 40 out of it, and he just shot a whole mag of 40. So if you want like light training ammo, you could just shoot 40 out of. I'm not a gunsmith. I'm not a lawyer. I'm going to say this several times throughout this episode.
Same.
But you can shoot 40 out of a 10 millimeter. And if you can't shoot 40 out of your 10 millimeter, something's wrong with your 10 millimeter, because 40 is the same as 10 millimeter, just shorter. And pistols headspace off of the case rim, not the shoulder. So it's fine.
Exactly.
Okay, integrally suppressed shotguns. I did not see that coming, but that sounds kind of cool. I honestly would consider one. I don't really like shotguns that much, which is weird. Actually, you know what? I don't like shotguns because I used to be on the shotgun team, and I just shot so much fucking shotgun in my fucking life that I'm just over it. I've seen a lot of clays fly through the air. I've shot a lot of clays in the air.
You've got like a permanent mark on your shoulder, like.
It's whatever. I'm so much more excited by all other forms of shooting.
So I'm just looking through like Atlantic Firearms just because they have the Springfield Helion, that new bullpup they came up with.
It's not new. It's Croatia's old bullpup from the early 2000s.
Really?
It's the Croatian service rifle imported into the U.S. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic!
It's kind of cool.
Well,
yeah.
So that run right now runs like $2,100. Or if you want, you can get a Steyr AUG for like $1,700.
What's the best bullpup on the market right now, really?
Honestly, Steyr is really hard to beat. I have heard good things about like the X95 Tavors, but
I would get a Steyr. I kind of want to go all out though, and I don't want a H-bar barrel. They only sell them with like the heavy barrels. As far as I can find, I want a pencil barreled AUG, so that it's like super light and short, and I can just like hike around the mountains with a fucking AUG.
I would what I would do is I would get the heavy barrel, but I would have somebody chop it like 2 inches or 3 inches, and
Does
then
it come
like
with a 16 or a 20?
I think it comes with a 16. Yeah, 16 inch. So yeah, I would chop
Okay.
it two
Yeah, I
inches.
mean it has to be a rifle because it's a bullpup, right? So
Yeah,
that's the configuration. So you chop it. Well, they made like a ultra compact version at one point, right? What's the barrel length on that version?
let's see.
Clickety clackety, we're both typing. See, and it's like for a bullpup, like the lightest AUG, the subcarbine is 7.1 pounds, and it's like it doesn't need to be 7.1 pounds. Like you got Austrian soldiers fucking hoofing it around the fucking Alps. Like, why is it a 7-pound rifle? It could easily be a 5-pound rifle if you just lightened
It's a lot of
a few
plastic.
things
That's
on
the
it.
other problem with bullpup. You just have like all this fucking plastic.
Well, yeah, like the stock, the whole mechanism is just like this beefy thing, like right in your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the subcarbine? The lengths. Trying to look for the barrel lengths. There's a 20-inch, which is the standard. That's kind of the benefit. Like, if it's gonna weigh that much, I might as well get the 20-inch barrel because it's like, oh, I'm getting everything out of that 5.56 cartridge. It's nice to have that full velocity when you're in the mountains. So this it shoots a little flatter, and it, just is a little more lethal further out, etc. But the compact version is a 13.8. So I guess you'd want to cut 2.2 inches off of that barrel to get the subcarbine version. Anyways, what were you saying? What's your ideal AUG build? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good because all I was just gonna say, I would chop 2 inches off the barrel off the 16 inch and just thread it for a suppressor. Obviously, suppress it and just like have that.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's it.
because it's got a nice gas adjustable system, right? So you don't get overgassed. It's short rod operated. I would almost want to get like a recessed suppressor, like a AEM suppressor on it. Like you don't even need to chop it all the way down to 13.8 or whatever. Like leave the perfect amount so that you can thread it and put the collar on, and then it's got a slightly longer barrel, but also this recessed suppressor back off on the barrel. That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I love the AEM 5 suppressor. I think that's the coolest suppressor ever built. Probably because I grew up watching Black Hawk Down all the time.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that's a good question. Has Steyr dropped anything new in ever? Their pistol is kind of a sleeper.
It is a little bit.
Their L9 pistol is a really good pistol.
I really like the
If
sights.
you
The triangular sights are really nice.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just curious. Yeah, they sell the L9 as a full size pistol. That's all they sell
Fantastic.
as far as pistols go. Which is like Steyr. Like, if you wanted to be really in the game, like, why not? Try and make a subcompact. Try and make a compact. It's a good pistol. It's just like people don't want only a full size. The other Steyr pistol or Steyr weapons are the THB, which is the Steyr Scout from Counter-Strike, which is a very cool rifle. Bolt action with this really fast bolt and everything like that. They sell the AUG, and then they sell a series of precision rifles, including the HS-50, which is a 50 cal anti-material rifle.
Very cool.
Actually, so you used to work in a gun store. Give me a list. Give me a list price for Steyer's 50 caliber rifle.
Steyr 50 caliber. Let's see.
No. I have it right here. I want you to guess it.
I have absolutely no idea because I never saw one in person. I would say 10,000.
Yeah, it's 9,100.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Ooh, that's good looking.
Right. Anyways, Steyr does not make a very diverse line of products, right? Like they could be making civilian versions of the TMP, and they would fucking sell out of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wants the TMP, the TP9 from B&T, which I guess B&T bought the rights for that. But I'm sure Steyr could still make them if they wanted to. Just be like they both manufacture them.
Man, I
TP9
need a 50 caliber.
You don't have a 50?
I don't have a 50. It's kind of
honestly like,
but I want one.
50 is like kind of a stupid, like it's an obsolete caliber at this point because it's like it's not enough to be armor penetrating on modern like armor. And it's just so big that for real. I mean, like I'm curious, genuinely, like it does. Like I don't mean to phrase it this way, so I'm thinking of a different way to phrase it. A U.S. Or like a Soviet Eastern Bloc, personnel carrier that your local police department might have, probably is resistant to a 50 cal. Just saying.
The tracks,
even with the right ammo. Sorry.
You can do a lot to it though. You can destroy the tracks. You can smash vision cupolas. You can smash equipment on the outside. You can smash lights. If you get the right angle, you could affect some shit.
That's fair. I think like modern armor is advanced to the point where like, as far as like it's a good anti-material rifle. Like you can destroy somebody's engine block with a 50.
Oh, for sure.
Like you can take out vehicles.
Plus, like I'm not saying it would kill.
You can
anybody,
destroy cover.
But here's the thing: imagine you do that. You're like you and a couple buddies are like, shooting some 50 caliber rifles at aforementioned APC, and there's a bunch of people inside. How do you think they're going to feel after their vehicle gets hammered with 50 caliber rounds? Probably not great.
No, yeah, I bet it's very loud inside of any metal tomb in which 500 grain projectiles are slamming against it at half the speed or half a mile a second.
No Shay says, how do you guys feel about the Fight Light MCR upper? Let me look this up.
Let me double check that.
If this is a belt-fed AR upper, I cannot in good faith support this. So I love the idea of belt-fed machine guns. They're great. They're fantastic. Belt-fed ARs are a fucking nightmare. They just don't work well.
Well, okay. I mean, at this point, the upper, it looks like the upper is basically just a fucking M60, right?
For the most part, yeah. But it's
and you're belt feeding it. Now, yeah, the problem is the trigger group. Actually, I think the trigger has it's not what it's used to interfacing with, so it's silly. Also, semi-auto belt fed is just silly. So unless you already have like a full auto lower that you're willing to run this with, like why?
Which you could do, but the problem isn't so much rate of fire. Well, it is rate of fire because like every belt fed AR I have ever personally handled has been a jam machine.
Yeah, I think like it's there's only one advantage to belt fed weapons, which is capacity.
Yeah.
And the only reason that you need that level of capacity is because you have such a high rate of fire that a 30-round magazine is shot in such a short period of time that it's not a worth worthwhile, unit of ammunition to expend.
Exactly.
Or you spend so much time loading versus shooting when your fire rate's 11,000 rounds per minute or whatever. And so belt fed just like stops making sense when you're talking about any semi-auto, and even frankly, like you get to low fire rate like machine guns, and it's like, World War II, all the LMGs were mag fed, and people really didn't complain about them. It takes only a few seconds to swap mags. Um, and when your fire rate's in that sweet spot of like legitimately, like the MG42, its fire rate is too high. Like you don't just miss, you miss with 20 rounds.
Yeah.
It's such a waste. And so like being able to walk the bullets in is kind of the point of machine gun if you're trying to actually kill stuff. And if you're suppressing fire, like why waste ammo too? So like all modern guns, Jim Sullivan, who actually designed the AR-15, not Eugene Stoner. Jim Sullivan, like he's been modernizing the AR-15, and like for military contracts, like he's got this constant recoil machine guns that are usually in that 450 fire rate. It's like a typewriter, basically. It's really constant, and you can just walk bullets right into where you want them. So, anyways, I don't know, unless you're gonna DIS fucking sear into your AR lower. Good luck for your and I'm not advocating that.
I mean, if you want a halfway point, you could get a binary trigger, which, I mean, a binary trigger and a belt fed
Absolutely.
would be interesting.
Absolutely. I think now that we've gotten the bump stock ban reversed, and I think the binary triggers are going to
That's
get.
right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, we should get into this ATF stuff because it's really worth talking about. I think I wanted to brainstorm some stuff with you about it.
Actually, yeah, let's go.
But just talking about binary triggers for one more second. I think binary triggers are really cool stopgap between getting, fully legals, full auto. So, you might live in a state where, like, here's where I'm at on all like ATF and gun things is like, you can mostly, or is like, you're already like in a situation. Okay, let me step it back 3 steps. If you are going to get brought up on some gun charges, there's really only a couple situations where that happens. Either you bought shit from the wrong person,
Wish.com.
which was a Fed. You bought shit from a Fed, and they know that you've got that shit, and they're gonna fucking nail you for it. Or you were in a firearms altercation, and you ended up using this firearm, and it's a piece of evidence now, and you're not going to go fucking Rambo just because you defended yourself. Like, that's beyond stupid, right?
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Your home defense or concealed carry pistol should be a legal configuration in your jurisdiction.
100%.
And I say that not to be a cuck or fucking like some other like shit like that. I'm just saying, like, even if you're completely in the right and you shoot somebody totally justified, whether it's downtown or in your house, you are removing at least one thing that the DA can go after you for, which is to say, like, they had a non-legal firearm configuration in their home, or they were carrying a non-legal firearm. I'm not saying that to be a cuck. I'm just saying, like, if it happens, there's plenty of legal firearm configurations that work perfectly fine for everyday concealed carry or home defense. Okay, there's really not a great argument for having your unregistered full auto SBR whatever with your wish.com silencer as your home defense gun. As cool as it might sound, it is not a practical weapon for that purpose. Just have a normal legal configuration. And that way, when they seize your gun for evidence, it's not a problem, and you've got plenty of guns back in your safe, and they don't get a search warrant for your safe, and everything's fine. Okay?
Exactly.
So if you have a gun that is going to be for concealed carry or home defense, or that you think, or that you're using for that potentially for, you should use legal guns for lawful purposes. I don't know how to say that otherwise. Now we should get into the question of what should people do if they owned a braced pistol.
Well,
because the ATF's given us a few options here. So Ben, give us your rundown on what do you think.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the penalty for possessing a brace pistol now the exact same penalty for, say, possessing an illegal machine gun?
That is correct. An illegal possession of any NFA item carries 10 years of prison and $10,000 fine.
You know what this makes me think of? I took a class once on criminal procedural law, and the guy who was teaching it was a sheriff. One of the things he was talking about was like in the 70s or 80s, the penalty for possession of crack cocaine or cocaine in general was immediately life in prison. Like, you have this on you, you go to jail forever. And that is the exact same penalty you get back in the day, usually for, like murdering a cop. So what they were finding out was a lot of these dudes, they'd get busted by an undercover informant or something like that with coke, and it's like, oh, I'm going to jail forever, huh? All right, well, I'm going to kill this dude. So they had a lot of these instances where undercover police and informants were getting killed at much higher rates because the penalty for possession was the same as murdering a cop. Now, I'm not saying that this will result in more cops being murdered, but what I am saying is... What was I saying?
I'm not sure. Anyways, let's get over here to let's say that you were charged with
in Minecraft. This is all happening in Minecraft, of course.
Of a short-barreled rifle. I think you need to do a very sober analysis of what jurisdiction you live in and what a jury of your peers would think of your self. I mean, let's give you all the benefits of the doubt and say your firearms use is going to be lawful. All right, like the self-defense question is not the problem. Okay. So, if you are going to be in possession of a potentially illegal item, would a jury of peers in your jurisdiction say, it might have been with an illegal firearm, but it was a justified shooting, and I'm going to let them walk on all the charges? Or are they going to convict you on possession for 10 years? The $10,000 is really nothing, right? Like, you can,
it's whatever.
Is whatever. The 10 years is what you got to think about.
Yeah.
And that is a question you really, really need to ask for your jurisdiction. Think about it this way. If I went down to the local bar and talked to them and said, hey, do you think SBR should be legal? Do you know about jury nullification? And they say yes to both those questions. Okay, cool. Now go to the local school or post office and chat up the clerk or the teacher there.
For the record, please do not walk into a school and ask the front desk clerk what they think of SBR rifles. Please don't do that.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying is not everybody on your jury is going to be your buddy from the fucking bar who's like, fuck the feds, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the local school teacher.
It's going to be
or
that
the
person who sits in their car at the traffic light wearing a mask with no one else in the car. And the light's green and they're just not going. And you don't know why. And then you honk and then they still don't go. And then you honk again and then they start to go. And you're just like, what the hell was that? That's your
So-
jury member.
and they vote.
And they vote.
So like, yeah, that's the choice. That's the gamble that you're making whenever you're rolling dirty, okay? Is how am I going to have this jury play out? Let's and actually let's give you all the benefits of the doubt that you just don't get like greased at the initial part of it, because it's like, oh yeah, fuck
there's
you.
that.
Anyways, we give you the benefit of the doubt. It's a legal shooting. You are not greased by the cops when they show up. What, how much do you trust the jury to not convict you, etc.? So, given all that, I would say that you need to make your practical everyday firearms that you keep for home defense, concealed carry, as legal in your jurisdiction firearms. Kyle Rittenhouse like barely got off, right?
Yeah. He came real close.
He came really close.
Real close.
So it's like one of those things, and that was just because of his age, really. It's one of those things where it's like it's just not even ambiguous, right?
Yeah.
I don't like living in legally ambiguous situations. So here's the next part of the pistol brace question, which is, okay, the ATF has given us 3 options for our braced pistols, hypothetically braced pistols.
Hypothetical, yes.
So, Ben, could you detail those options for us?
Option 1 is you destroy the pistol. That's option 1. Option 2 is you can file for a free Form 1 stamp in order to turn your braced pistol into an SBR, in which case you could just take a stock off. You take the brace off and put the stock on anyway, but you're on a fucking registry now. So if you want to, register your firearm,
let's
you go right
discuss
ahead.
pros and cons after.
Okay.
And what's the third one?
The third one is become a felon. I don't know.
Sorry, no, these are the legal options.
Oh, legal
so
options.
you can destroy. Actually, you don't have to destroy the firearm. You can just destroy the brace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can register it,
Mm-hmm.
or you can surrender it to law enforcement. Is the 3 legal options. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that almost no one's going to surrender their firearm to law enforcement here.
Correct.
And a lot of people are going to destroy their brace, but I really am kind of intrigued and want to talk about the other option, which is to get the stamp. So you were explaining one of the benefits of getting the stamp already, which was if it's an SBR, it's an SBR.
Yes. However, it's on a registry.
I don't think people are understanding, because I was reading comment sections online, and I don't think people comprehend what the NFA actually is. They think there's genuinely people out here that so far has never initiated a mass confiscation of these kinds of weapons. In fact, as far as SBRs go, there's 2 interesting historical parts of the NFA related to SBRs. So if you know about NFA law, you'll notice that the registry or the length requirement for barrels and shotguns is 18 inches, while rifles is 16 inches.
Mm-hmm.
So, Ben, do you know why that might be the case?
I don't.
So, okay, there's two reasons. So, the first amendment to the NFA was in 1936. It was 2 years after it was passed, and 22 manufacturers, like Marlin and Browning, et cetera, and Ruger, whatever, they had all been making 22 rifles with barrels around 16 inches because that's pretty ballistically optimistic or optimal for 22 rimfire rounds. And the 18 round or the 18 inch requirement for 16 inch or yeah, I'm getting totally tongue tied here. So the NFA at the time was passed with an 18-inch requirement for all rifles to not be short-barreled rifles in 1934. In 1936, they passed an exemption for 22 caliber rifles to be 16 inches. Now, what about all other rifles? Do you know what happened that they exempted all rifles to be 16 inches?
What happened?
So after the Korean War, the U.S. military exempted, or sorry, not exempted, but surplused all of its M1 carbine rifles. What is the barrel length of an M carbine rifle?
16 inches.
It's 16 inches. And they had surplus these rifles through the civilian marksmanship program and sold them to NRA members all across the nation. 5 million rifles they sold to the US public. And about 3 years after they did that, somebody at the Department of Justice said, hey, wait a minute. M1 carbines have a less than 18-inch barrel length. And so in 1968, the Gun Control Act of 1968 made it so all rifles could have a length of 16 inches instead of 18 inches because they had accidentally made 5 million people into felons overnight. The US government sold SBRs to 5 million different people in the 60s, realized, whoops, and then made the length different for center fire cartridges. It's a cool little anecdote right there, right?
That is very cool.
So let's get to today, right? The last time the government modified the NFA to be more permissive was, in some respects, at least the GCA of 68. When the government realized they made a huge whoopsies and had sold a bunch of SBRs to the public on accident. At that point, they modified it to make it so those people wouldn't be felons, wouldn't have to register their firearms. Now we have what the Justice Department estimates to be 40 million braced pistols out there in public hands. So we've got nearly, 8 times as many firearms that are not in compliance with the NFA, the National Firearms Act of 1934, and the amended Gun Control Act of 1968 out there. And what has been the course of action for the Department of Justice and the ATF? It's been amnesty registration. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, amnesty registration is probably the easy short-term thing for the DOJ to do because it takes an act of Congress to modify this.
This is true.
Until Congress acts, it just is what it fucking is. And We actually have a decent Supreme Court now that is literate and understands what words mean. And so that means that the fucking Supreme Court is going to have their hands tied when it comes to acts of Congress, for the most part. So I don't think we're going to see anything happen besides an amnesty until we get some sort of Congress movement that says, we need to eliminate the class of firearms that is short barrel shotguns and short barrel rifles. Ben, give me your political analysis and feelings on what the likelihood of a bipartisan, because we're not going to have a supermajority in either part of the Congress or the Senate anytime soon. So what's the chances of a bipartisan consensus on removing short-barreled rifles from the National Firearms Registry?
I think we would have a better chance of Henry Kissinger dying by 2030 than we would have of that, to be quite honest.
Yeah, he's going to get at least 3 new hearts in that period of time.
He's going to get 3 new hearts, 2 livers, 40 adrenochrome transplants. He's not going anywhere. And there is absolutely no way a single Democrat is ever going to vote for that to happen. It's just not going to happen. The only significant change that has been brought when it comes to codifying or undoing codified gun control is through the judicial branch. That is it.
Right. So this is where I'm going to go with the Supreme Court. And I kind of discussed the Supreme Court being very deferential to the legislative branch.
The Jews.
How they've been.
The Jewish branch.
No, I think we had Thomas Clarence say in the Heller ruling that firearms commonly owned weapons for commonly owned weapons for a lawful purpose are inherently legal under the Second Amendment. Now, the problem with saying that should overturn the registration requirement of the NFA is that in that same ruling, they said that registration and licensing is a valid part of government regulation of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not see the government just abandoning this registry of short-barreled rifles. Or they would have to Thomas Clarence would have to contradict himself in his majority opinion ruling in Heller to say that braced pistols, despite being SBRs, are lawful and common weapons and are can be legally possessed by any American. The problem is that he also said that licensing and registration is part of being of lawful firearms ownership, depending on the jurisdiction. Legislatures they deferred to the fact that legislatures can decide if a license or registration of weapons is part of that.
Mm.
So I would not look to the judicial branch for relief on this thing at all.
I would definitely agree.
Do you have anything to feedback on that? Yeah.
No, honestly, here's the thing. The judicial branch has provided the only real movement we've seen. But even so, what we see is even if you do manage to get a victory in the judicial branch, states like Chicago, Illinois, and New York and New Jersey will just pass new versions of the laws that were just struck down that are slightly different. So then you have to then, bring the court around and start taking them to court for these new laws, which do the exact same thing but are worded differently. And it's okay, so you get to start all over again.
Right. So at the end of the day,
put the stock on it. Not in
I
Minecraft. In real life, put the stock on it. Fuck it. You can't hold me legally responsible for shit. Put the stock on it. Fuck it. We ball.
no. So people might call me a fucking cuck or a bitch or something like that. There's two objections to the NFA, right?
Mhm.
Which is I got to pay a tax
Yeah.
and I got to register.
Yeah.
Okay. Both of those are bullshit, right? Like, why should I have to pay you extra money to own something that, like, should be, the same price as something that does the exact same thing? And then, why do I have to send my fingerprints and my picture? People don't realize this about NFA if they're not in the NFA world, but you have to submit your fingerprints
Yeah.
to the ATF to own NFA items. Excuse me. So this is where I get into the next part of our branch of choices, okay? On whether or not to register, okay? Whether to be in the eyes of the law or not, or just put the fucking stock on it. And hey, since the punishment for having a stock on it is the same as having uh the third hole drilled into the receiver, why not just do that too?
Mm-hmm.
Um
Yeah. Might as well.
so I think it comes down to these two choices. If you are if you're not gonna like just secret away your brace and or like just sawed in half or something like that, stupid. Then just uh you know register it and get a fully functional legal SBR, and you never have to worry about it, and you didn't have to pay the tax. And there's a really compelling situation for that, which is you already own NFA items and the ATF already has your fingerprints and your photo and knows where you live, etc. And I think for those people makes a lot of sense.
True.
Cuz you're not losing anything, right? Like what are you losing by doing what you've already done to own silencers or other short-barreled rifles or shotguns, etc. Um for the other folks, really, 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 really make a deep, deep decision on whether you want to gamble with all of those other factors that we talked about earlier on possessing an unregistered NFA item. You might wait and sit it out because there might be legal challenges, there might be some judicial relief and other stuff, but you should be thinking about it and probably make a choice. This is one of those life things that I've been working on lately is just part of masculinity or adulthood even is just having choices and owning them.
Mm.
And really think about owning that choice, whatever one you want to make.
Well, yes. One thing I was gonna add too, yes, put the fucking stock on it, but if you're gonna put the stock on it, maybe don't put that one as your main go-to for home defense.
Yeah, that was the first part we
Yeah,
were discussing.
I just I just wanted to add that onto what I said because like I will put the stock on it at some point, but I'm not gonna use that in home defense. Like it's just not gonna happen.
Also, don't take pictures of yourself
Yeah,
committing felonies. Don't make it
yeah.
easy, right?
Or like
Um,
make it like plausible that it's legal.
right, right. That said, for folks who already own NFA items, there's really you're not losing anything except like a few minutes of filing paperwork that you've already filed before, technically, and you're basically getting a free extra stamp. So, um, you're not. There's a lot of people who are saying like I kind of dislike the rhetoric. This is controversial in libertarian right wing gun nut circles that registration always leads to confiscation. The U.S. actually kind of disproves that. We've had a gun registry since 1934, and none of those people have seen confiscation. So I don't know what to tell you. The federal government and our Constitution has at least to a point worked to protect people who are, complying with the law. Now that said, if you are manufacturing stuff off the books and not registering it, or you end up as the Branch Davidians, um, who did nothing wrong. They were completely peaceful people, compared to the federal government, at least. And like, you can still get murdered for that stuff. But the people who are, I genuinely want to ask, like, has anybody who's registered their SBR had it confiscated? I think even if you live in New York, you got grandfathered in because of ex post facto
I
laws.
don't exactly know how New York works with that, but I just wouldn't trust New York.
No, I mean that's fair, and the problem is when you like assume that like registration is amnesty in a state like California. There was that farmer who went to bring his 21 guns in to get registered, and like is getting charged with felonies left and right, and it's like, wait, that was not the point
Yeah, he
of
was
the
trying to
amnesty.
do what you wanted him to do, and you lied about the amnesty. Like,
One of the genuinely like actual legitimate parts that like I should get the ATF credit for is when they say they have an amnesty period. Historically it's always been an amnesty period. So for example, after the Vietnam War, soldiers had bringbacks from the Vietnam War, AKs. People stole their service M16s
mm-hmm.
and stuff like that, M60s as well. People stole those.
Yep.
And there was an amnesty registration period in what was the last machine gun amnesty?
Probably before the Hughes Amendment, so like 82,
Yeah.
83, 84.
It was 1968.
Ah.
So 1968 there was a machine gun amnesty, and legitimately there were felons, prohibited possessors who cannot own a Title I firearm, a normal handgun, a normal rifle, bolt action rifle, who submitted their paperwork, and the only gun that they were allowed to own was a fucking machine gun
Oh, man.
in 1968. Okay. So that's based on that, like the ATF like honored their word. And it's kind of interesting. That said, the ATF has been really bad about entrapment before, but not in this sense. Normally, when they entrap people, it's in a parking lot and they say, hey, why don't you take this hacksaw and saw off the barrel of this gun? And I'd pay you $200 more for it.
Hmm.
So, that said, in the 1968 amnesty period, and which is what we're experiencing right now, we've got a 120-day SBR specific amnesty. If you're a felon in possession, it's possible. I don't know for sure, but it is possible that even if you are a prohibited possessor and you register in this period, they might let you keep it because they let you do that with machine guns in 1968. Another little fun factoid from NFA periods. I love the story of how the SBRs got cut down to 16 instead of 18. It's
That's
just because the government fucked up, which is exactly what happened today. They said, "Oh, this is legal," and then now it's been 10 years, and they're like, "I guess it's not legal," and so either they have two options: amnesty. There's no way they're going to enforce it against you. They're not knocking down everybody's house. There's 5,000 braces for every fucking ATF agent. So if they did
Yeah.
one raid a day for the next, you know, 30 years, they still wouldn't catch up with everybody. So that's not the thing to worry about. Just saying.
no, that makes sense.
Historically, they either amend the law or they do an amnesty whenever they fuck up. Right now, they're trying amnesty, but this is such a catastrophic fuck up as compared to the ones before that the law is going to need to be amended. I think after we have this Supreme Court for the next 5-6 years, whatever it takes, we're going to have either not the United States of America in 2030, or we're going to have just kind of a détente on the gun issue, the same way that we've had a détente on the abortion issue. Like, there's going to be some ruling that says like, yeah, that fucking NFA was bullshit, and maybe that will be in 2028, but don't count on it anytime soon. That's what I'm getting at.
Word. Yeah. I mean, one can hope. There's always the
Yeah,
possibility.
I mean, knock on wood.
It just takes
Or-
one good lawsuit.
It'd be interesting. I don't see this court overturning the NFA. I see literally the Democratic Party just giving up on this whole assault weapons ban and NFA bullshit. And I can see them probably keeping the machine gun registry. But like at a certain point, they're just going to be like, the gun issue is settled for America, and we just give up.
I would
It's
say
not
it pretty much like it already is in a lot of ways.
It
they
is.
just got to realize it.
No, it's just going to take 5 or 6 years for the Democratic base to just catch up to be like, and like honestly, it's already happening. Like I have my like liberal college friends being like, Max, what concealed carry pistol should I get and stuff like that. And like when you're asking those kind of questions, you're like 6 months away from being like, why the fuck is SBRs regulated? Like I can own a pistol and I can own a rifle, but I can't own something in between the two.
Because of the gay TF. Nice. Party foul.
Hey, it's loaded, so it's fine.
That's fine. Well,
I mean, it's drop safe. I don't know what to tell
it's
you.
not a SIG. It's fine. Well, we're like
no, it was the rifle slumping over.
Oh yeah, no, I know. Like I said, even the SIG rifle, like the SIG Cross, had that issue too.
Really?
Well, it wasn't so much that it wasn't drop safe. I mean, it's probably not drop safe, but it would have a problem where like you would pull you'd put it in, you take it off safe, and you pull the trigger and it wouldn't fire, and then you put it back on safe and then it would fire.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Any more closing gun thoughts?
10 millimeters based.
Own a concealed carry pistol.
Get folks. A concealed carry pistol, a legal one.
Carry it every day.
Carry it every day.
That is the most important thing that you can do for your life. Just have a concealed pistol on your person at all times. What else can I say?
It's the truth. I just realized that if I
lean
back,
trust in Allah and carry a concealed handgun.
When when my color light does certain colors, if I lean back in this chair, I can disappear entirely.
No, I've noticed that. Like, I feel like you're doing a thing.
Like
It feels like a bit.
honestly, it did it when I made the comment about penalty for killing cops with coke and shit. That joke. Oh, look, there we go again. Hey, put the stock on
Yeah.
it.
Just
All
don't
right.
take pictures of yourself committing felony.
Just don't film yourself and put it on Instagram or take pictures and put it on anything. That's all you got to do. Be safe.
Peace.
All right, guys. So we are not bad. An hour and 40 minutes into this one. This has been a good. I'd say this is a decent filler episode. It's one of our better fillers.
We definitely shot the shit for a solid time there, but like I had been thinking about the NFA thing for a long time and reading a lot too.
We needed a gun episode.
I-
We'll have more gun episodes, but what do we want to do for the 100th?
I think we should just have like a round table. Oh no, not a round table. I think we should have like segments, right? So we should like email Cybersmith now, Marcel, any other
1911.
like any other good guests that we've had through the ages, and like say like, hey, you're gonna get 5 free minutes on the podcast.
Say whatever you want.
Say whatever you want. Make, if you can, just like make it a token like congrats Matt, and like so glad that you got out of prison and that the Aryan Brotherhood has perforated your asshole to an extreme diameter.
Yes.
But no, like I think like just having like a series of guests that like just congratulate Matt for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I
I want to hear Marcel congratulate Matt for having more white children.
When Marcel and I were talking about like DEI,
Mm-hmm.
we're off air, right?
No, we're still on air.
Oh God, you got to take us off.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us, and remember, as always, taxation is theft.